Welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Kristina Aleksander. Respite care provides assistance to parents of very dependent or difficult children. One Wartburg student is gaining the opportunity to work with children through this program. Cedar Valley Today's Maya Wetterall reports. Waverly officers responded to a call Sunday concerning a mysterious box found buried outside the Wartburg College's chapel. Another major disaster in the state of South Carolina. Heavy rain pounded the state, causing severe flooding, taking the lives of at least 9 people. Duo's Coffee Shop in Waverly invites Wartburg students to have free coffee as they study for finals week. I'm here at Lemon Lace at downtown Waverly, one of the most popular window displays during Christmas on Main. We got an exclusive interview with Anna and Elsa all the way from Arendelle in Norway. Joining me now is Tammy Hott, a leading organizer and champion of anti-criminalization efforts for people with HIV and organizer of the world's first HIV is Not a Crime conference. Thank you for joining us, Tammy. So first, can you share with us a little bit of your personal story with HIV?
Yes.
Fledgling democratic state of Kosovo is in the process of opening their first consulate in the United States. The decision to choose Des Moines over other cities comes from the long relationship the Iowa National Guard has had with Kosovo during their rebellion and consequent separation from Serbia. Colonel Lieutenant Michael Woon explains who is to be credited for this relationship.
Major General Tim Moore recognized that really there was a lot of opportunity to do things beyond just security cooperation. With Kosovo, as a developing country, a newly independent country in the Balkan Peninsula, he recognized that there was opportunities for cooperation in other sectors beyond security.
The consulate under the program Whole of Iowa for Whole of Kosovo will help Iowa and Kosovo have a better cooperation when it comes to agriculture, business, industry, education, and healthcare. However, even though the main purpose of this consulate will be economic development and trade, the security and military cooperation will also be a big aspect.
Our plan is that we will have a Kosovo Security Force officer assigned to the consulate office for a period of time to work directly with the Iowa National Guard as we develop our security cooperation programs with Kosovo.
Having a permanent presence by somebody from Kosovo will help foster economic ties that are already in place through the Iowa Sister States program. Dennis Deeds, the chair of the Kosovo Committee for Iowa Sister States, explained what the two areas have in common.
Kosovo has, even though it's a very tiny country, it has an ag sector that was at one time fairly robust, and I think it can be again because of the turmoil and stuff. It's trying to recover.
Cassie Wheeler, the international program manager of the Iowa Sister States program, tells of her expectations after the consulate is open.
I would expect that there's going to be a lot more exchanges, whether it's education, agriculture-based. It's a chance for businesses to expand if they're looking to go abroad and get into the European market even. So there's just a lot of opportunities both ways.
Wartburg College was feeling the burn today with more than 700 people showing up to hear Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. We spoke to some of the people at the event about why they support this political revolution.
I just like that he just seems like a real guy, like a normal, like us, and that he understands kind of what we are going through.
Political revolution, I feel, is a good theme for him because he's speaking about topics that no one has really talked about since FDR.
So far, Bernie Sanders has received over 25 million individual contributions to his campaign, which is more than any presidential candidate ever.
There are a lot of Iowans right now who are tired of status quo politics. If we can bring out large numbers of people, if we can have a high voter turnout, I am absolutely confident that we're going to win here.
And Sanders' unique position on issues really resonates well with the voters.
I've been a Bernie Sanders supporter for about the last year. I got a chance to see him in Waterloo back when he was deciding whether he even wanted to run. And he was talking about issues that I hadn't even thought of, the TPP and other things. Income inequality, I'd never even heard of that phrase.
Bernie, I think, is the only one that's really truly passionate. I mean, truly, he's not owned by Wall Street or oil or anything. You know, he's doing this for something that he's passionate about.
For Cedar Valley Today, this is Kristina Aleksander. The 365 and counting Iowans in the Vietnam War exhibition at the Sullivan Brothers Museum in Waterloo is in full swing. The exhibition, which opened in July this year, has been seeing many more visitors during Veterans Week. Chris Shackleworth, Research and Programming Assistant at the Grout Museum, says the exhibition focuses on the human aspect.
We're not a war museum, we're a veterans museum, so we focus on the stories of individuals who have served.
And one of those stories is Norbert Podasky.
We tried to pay homage a lot to the 866 Iowans who were killed during the war. His wife brought in a lot of personal letters that he had written her during his time in the Air Force serving in Vietnam.
Podasky was in Vietnam for 365 days and kept a very close correspondence with his wife.
It was quite sad reading his last letter to her. It was 3 days prior to his opportunity to return to the United States, and he's talking about all these other planes that during the monsoon season kept crashing into mountains. Unfortunately, that was his demise within the next day of writing this letter. And so she receives this letter expecting him to return any day. And unfortunately, it's a military chaplain who has to bring that news.
However, they didn't want the exhibit to focus just on the soldiers who have found their way home.
We recently featured the 25 Iowans whose remains were unrecovered. They were missing in action. They are presumed killed at this point, but without a body returned, those families never had a true closure.
And the museum has an interesting way of helping people find information on their loved ones who were in the Vietnam War.
So you can go by city, county, service, or the date of death. You can select one at random. Maybe you may recognize the individual. It gives their basic biographical information, date of birth, date of death.
The exhibit has been open since July and will be open until next July, coinciding with the 365 days the American veterans have spent in Vietnam 40 years ago. Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, this is Kristina Aleksander. Thank you for watching Cedar Valley Today. For more Cedar Valley Today content, download our app for Android.